A leader is simply someone who's able now to see the same thing as everybody else around himself, around himself or around herself, and so much more. You can see that yes, this guy is carrying a cell phone. Yeah, I can see the cell phone, but I can see that the cell phone has something unique about it. I can go and get more precision and detail about this cell phone. That's leadership. And I can also see that this cell phone can actually be used to do X, Y, Z. That's leadership, to see what others are seeing and to see so much more. And because there was a lack of leadership as far as seeing was concerned, on September 21st 2013 in Kenya, all this thing happened, and the incident was known as the Westgate Mall incident in Kenya. And from that point, most countries around Kenya develop this measure of security when it comes to the wall. Before you can get to the mall, there is basically all this metal detector that you have to go through. Security trying to make sure they know exactly who's coming into the mall. When you're driving into the mall, someone has to check the car to make sure you don't bring anything crazy into the mall. I do that because 4 years in 2017, I was in Africa. I was in one of the neighboring countries. I was in Uganda, and the same thing I was subject to. At the mall, I kept saying, but going into the mall feels like going into a high security airport. What's going on? They say, yeah, because around this part of the world, we have to go to the extra length of making sure everybody is okay before we get into the mall and as we're leaving the mall because of what has happened around these countries. So now, as I was saying at the beginning of this conversation, when it comes to the ability to see details that others cannot see and how we can develop that, I will simply give you 4 basic steps to consider. Oh my goodness. Number 1, you have to simply come to a place where you're going to say to yourself, yeah, as far as the what of the story is concerned, so what is happening, I'm going to give myself permission to simply, become obsessed when it comes to paying attention. If there's a cell phone in front of me, I'm going to be looking at the cell phone intently and trying to analyze all the details around the cell phone. I'm going to be able to simply give myself permission to become obsessed. That's number 1. Number 2, not just obsessed, because obsession there was one beautiful thing about obsession. When you obsess about something, you don't simply stop at the mundane details. You simply go far beyond everybody else. So number 1, you have to become obsessed, because obsession will now give you permission now to start standing out as far as competition is concerned and giving you what I would simply call unfair advantage. Number 1. Number 2, you have to look at the same thing as everybody else from different angles. You have to look at it from the front. You have to look at it from the side. You have to look at it from behind, and you have to look at it from underneath, from under. Because when you start giving yourself permission to look at the same thing from many different angles, what is happening? You are simply now seeing details that others are missing, because others simply focusing on looking at the same thing from only one angle. So give yourself permission to look at the same thing from different angles. That's number 2. Number 3, give yourself permission to go out of your way to start asking around, simply says, how can I do this thing differently? Because when you start doing things different, going around to ask people who don't think like you, who don't look like you, who don't feel things the way you feel them, to simply give you the perspective, to share the perspective when it comes to the same thing, what is happening, you are gaining more insight into how that thing can actually be operated and how you can actually gain more things as far as this one particular observation is concerned. And last but not least, so as you become obsessed, start looking from different angles. And number 3, you start basically asking for additional feedback from people around you. Number 4, if you can give yourself also permission in this moment, in this place of obsession, to give yourself breaks in between, to just go and refresh or reset your mind, or to reset your brain. What's going to happen is, slowly but surely, you're going to be becoming the person who's going to be going from one eureka moment to the next, because your brain will be resetting and now start giving you insight when you believe that, yes, I've run out of insight to actually come up with when it comes to this particular situation. Because the brain does not have what people believe to be infinite loads of attention. No, the brain from time to time needs to have actually break. And when you give the chance, your brain the chance to actually get a break, you're simply giving your brain a chance to simply reset itself. And as it resetting itself, what is going to happen? Your brain simply going to because you are giving a chance now to breathe. Let me now start looking at this one particular thing differently and give you inside you never thought was possible. And that's how slowly but surely you're going to start rising to the top and become the go-to person, go-to man or go-to woman within the house, within the community, within the organization, because you're going to be seeing things that others are simply unable to see. And with that, my friend, sky is the limit. This is how you're going to slowly but surely come to a place when you're going to 10x your income and 10x your relevance. The